Okay, what you need to learn about now is C6. It's part of C6 B, which is all about the hydrogen cell, hydrogen fuel cell, and the reactions of hydrogen and oxygen. And so we're going to go very basically through the tests for hydrogen and oxygen. So these are the two gases that we need to test for, obviously, when we're talking about the hydrogen fuel cell, because essentially that's the reaction that's going to happen. So hydrogen and oxygen. How do we test for either? Hydrogen should be fairly straightforward. Hydrogen H2 is tested for with if you collect it in a test tube and you put a lid splint next to it, that's my lid splint there, then you should get a squeaky pop. And you will have done this before, probably with some, well, we've done this I think in the lab with some magnesium ribbon and some hydrochloric acid, and this metal reacts very quickly with the hydrochloric acid to produce magnesium chloride. Obviously that's the salt, but what we were after here is the hydrogen. So the hydrogen comes out of this equation, and you put your thumb over the top initially, then you remove the thumb and you put a lid splint near the end of the test tube, and you get a mini explosion. Actually, if you get pure hydrogen, then you get quite a silent pop. So the hydrogen goes there, and it reacts with the oxygen from the air. Okay, so that's hydrogen. So how do we test for oxygen? I'm just going to extend the page. Oxygen, if you have a test tube full of it, there are various ways of generating it. For example, you could have hydrogen peroxide, and you add a catalyst such as potassium permanganate into the mix, which is KMnO4, and that decomposes the hydrogen peroxide. Again, you put your thumb over the top, and then you can put a stopper over the top, and you can fill the gas volume of the test tube with oxygen. So how do you test for it? You simply you take a splint and you light it initially, then you wait for embers to build up on the splint, and then you blow it out, and then you put the glowing ember onto the end of the test tube, and oxygen, so you put that right into there, having just taken the stop off, and the oxygen will actually relight the splint. Okay, only oxygen does that. With hydrogen, obviously, a lid splint gives an explosion, and that's the test for hydrogen. It gives you a squeaky pop, but for oxygen, it relights a glowing splint. So, in summary, the test for hydrogen is a lid splint or wooden spill, and it gives you a squeaky pop with the air, squeaky pop. And with oxygen, you put a glowing but not burning splint in the test tube, and it relights the splint. Okay, so those are the two tests that you need to recall, and I'll see you again in the next video for more.